So if you've been considering the idea of bringing someone onto your team, but kind of talking yourself out of it because you're not sure if there's enough work for them to actually do, let's talk about that. And in this case, this dilemma, it's not that you don't have clear direction in your business, but it's normally just that it's an important decision, but we're not taking into consideration all of the invisible work that you're already doing. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You sit down and try to mentally calculate what you'd hand to a VA. So you would sort of think about in your head are the obvious tasks like, inbox management, scheduling, and maybe social media. And you kind of calculate it in your head thinking, well, it just doesn't feel like there's enough substance in there to give to somebody. So you wait, and what typically happens is you get busier, and it actually just makes the problem worse because you're not doing an accurate calculation and you're not able to see what's actually taking up all of your time. The Slack messages that you respond to kind of mid-session, the client follow-up that you remember at 10 o'clock at night, the invoices that you're chasing in between calls, the content captions that you rewrote 3 times, the inquiry you responded to on a Saturday morning. These are the small operational decisions that live up in your head that just kind of get done, but just take so much time. And dozens of times a week really adds up. So none of that would actually make it to your list, but all of that takes your time. So the reason that founders underestimate their task volume is that most of what they do isn't actually documented in their calendar or their task list. It's not booked, it's not scheduled, it just happens constantly in the gaps between the work that's visible. And the irony is that the more capable you actually are, the worse it gets, because capable people absorb more operational noise without thinking about it. You process it quickly, you handle it, you just move on, and it barely registers as work, even though it's your time and your focus. And so sitting down and doing a proper task audit, not just a mental guess, consistently surfaces more than people expect every time. So if you're an online business coach or a consultant wondering whether there's actually enough for a VA to do, here's the kind of work that usually comes up once we actually map it all out. So once we document your client onboarding admin, looking in detail at your scheduling and calendar management, your email triage and all that flows off that, your accounting and your payment follow-ups, social media scheduling and caption drafting, community management and DM responses, courses or program admin, lead tracking and follow-up sequences, researching tasks, content repurposing, meeting notes and action items. So any one of these things on the list might feel small, but what you don't realize is that having a version of all of them sitting on your plate, eating up your time. And when you add them up, it's almost never as light as the mental tally suggested. To sit down and take the time to actually document it is really, really valuable. The other thing worth addressing is the idea of waiting until you're busier. So if you're already stretched at your current volume, that's usually a sign, because all you're going to be doing is adding more clients before you have the support structure. And this only compounds the problem. So more clients, more admin, more operational noise, and you've got less time to train them. And the less time you have, the more inefficient your business operations become, because you lose capacity to actually work on streamlining the operations and building a more efficient business. So having the support means you won't only have support to do the recurring business as usual tasks in your business, but you will also have an operationally minded person to help you refine, systematize, and organize your business. And when you work with us at The Doing Co., you also don't need to arrive with a perfectly documented role. That's part of what we build together with you. So we will help you with the task extraction, the role design, the onboarding, and all of it gets built before the VA starts. So you don't need to have it all figured out. That's not your job. That's what we'll help you with. So if you're telling yourself there isn't enough to hand over, just take a moment to imagine what a proper audit would actually look like. So you would sit down with us and we know how to organize it. And so it's not just a mental tally in your head, it's actually a structured conversation that will pull out all of that invisible work and kind of audit the business. So the stuff that you're handling in between things will surface that, and we'll help you organize it and plan. And whether it's now or whether it's in the future, we'll be able to support you. And when people see this all written down, at this point, the decision actually becomes obvious. The discovery call is where that starts. Just 30 minutes and we'll map out what's actually on your plate. We'll work out whether the volume is actually there and be straight with you about whether this makes sense for you where you are right now. If it does, we'll let you know. And if it doesn't, we'll give you a roadmap of kind of when you will be ready. So please reach out. It would be great to connect. The links are below.